Okay, who here is a senior? Raise your hand. Okay, it's a pretty big group. Let me ask you, why are you here?
Free food.
Free food. That's.
Good job, Tyson.
I appreciate your honesty. Is anybody here because they want to start a business? There's a couple? Eh. Okay, I'm in the wrong place then. No. Now, you guys are here because you want to make a little cash? Who likes money? Raise your hands.
Money is cool.
I like money. Money's good. What do you need for money? A job? Okay. Who here has aspirations in some point in their life to start their own business? Maybe not right this second, but start your own. Is there anybody here that currently has already started a business and is making money? My freshman daughter is the only person.
I kind of do.
Okay, let's hear what's your deal.
Pictures, and sometimes people pay me.
Wow, that sounds really creepy. But in what context do you take pictures and people pay you?
Portraits, I don't know. I do, like, I've taken some landscape ones that Mr. Merrill's going to pay me for.
Okay. And is that something you want to pursue, you think?
Yes, kind of.
What about my other daughter, Michaela? What's your business going to be? Churros. Who loves churros? Everybody loves churros, right? So what's the key to a successful business? Can anybody tell me?
Customers.
Nice job, customers. So I'm going to tell you something that it took me 10 years to figure out as a business owner. Okay? If you guys can get this one concept, this is the reason why. Have you ever heard the phrase 90% of businesses fail within the first year? Somebody heard that? Do you know why they fail? Because they don't have enough of what? They have enough customers, right? Let me tell you when you know that you have a real business. This is the moment that you have an actual legitimate photography business, okay? You have an actual legitimate churro business. When you have a legitimate insurance business. It doesn't matter the type of business, it's all the same. There's two things that you're going to know. Number one is you're going to get customers consistently. Okay? That's the first concept. You have to be able to get customers on a consistent basis because it really doesn't matter if Mr. Merrill hires you to do a couple landscapes, right? If that's as far as it ever goes, what's that? That's not a business. That's not going to keep you sustained for a long period of time. That's just a hobby, right? Is there anything wrong with a hobby? Nothing wrong with a hobby. But if you want to turn that hobby into a business, you have to go after and you have to be able to get customers on a consistent basis. Okay? Now there's a lot of businesses that have already figured out how to get customers consistently, but they don't understand this other concept. They have to be able to get customers on budget. Okay? Now what happens if you pay a whole bunch of money to get a customer and you do the work for them and it took you more money to get them than what you actually get back from them? How long will you be in business? Not very long, okay? Now this seems like really basic, kind of elementary stuff, but businesses go through this process all day long, every day. Most businesses fail and close because they can't get customers either consistently or on budget, okay? Do we have this concept down? You guys need to understand that you guys have a huge advantage over old guys like Andy and me when it comes to business. Huge, huge advantage. All of us are trying to figure out how we can mold the businesses that we've created over all these years and turn them into something that can be done online. Okay? Who here has a Facebook page? Who's got a Snapchat account? How about Instagram? Do you understand that your parents are also starting to use those things, unfortunately, right? Many of you probably didn't say. But they're starting to use those things. Why? Do you think it's because they just kind of want to hang out on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat? Some of them maybe. But a lot of them want to figure out how they can apply that to their businesses. Who here has parents that own their own business? A couple? What do your parents do?
My dad owns All About Blinds.
Okay. All About Blinds. Awesome. Who else? Go ahead. You can swallow. That's fine.
My dad does tile.
Does tile? Okay. What else? Anybody else parents own their own business? Cars. They sell cars? Awesome. all these different types of businesses, right? I think some of us take advantage of the fact and take for granted for the fact that we grew up in these homes where we have parents that have started these great businesses, and we just kind of think that's normal, right? But the truth is, the barrier of entry for you to be able to start your own business has never been smaller. Meaning that you guys could start a business tonight and find customers, right? Is there people that need to have pictures taken? Do people like churros? Everybody likes churros, right? So if we can find a way to connect those two things somehow, utilizing the power of the internet, the power of social media, then we have a business, okay? Now I want to go over the one other concept real quick that you've got to understand if you want a business to be successful. Has anybody ever heard the concept of USP? Not UPS, USP? No? Nobody? Okay. Stands for unique selling position.
That's a unique way of writing.
Thank you. I don't know why I write. I mean, nobody can read my handwriting anyways. But what would a unique selling position? Anybody have any idea what that might be? Anybody? Go ahead.
Like whatever, you're different from everyone else. Like
Okay.
you stand out of everyone.
Differentiation, right? Why would that maybe be important if you're a business owner?
Stand out.
So you-
people are like want to try you out and see.
Okay. Why else might that be important? Who here wants to be something in the dental or medical field in their life? How about like an accountant? Who wants to be an accountant? Anybody want to be a lawyer? How about a real estate agent? Those are pretty How about an insurance guy, right? Okay, a couple of insurance guys. These are what we call kind of professional services, right? Now, I can listen to Andy, and Andy can stand up and say, hey, you know what? I offer life insurance and home insurance and auto insurance and all these great things. Will you buy from me? Okay? But guess what? I can go like 2 buildings down, and I can find another insurance guy that says, hey, I'll give you life insurance and auto insurance and home insurance, and isn't that great? Will you buy from me? So what am I forced to decide on if I want to go with Andy or go with somebody else? Price, right? You force me as the consumer to make a decision based solely on price. Why might that be a problem?
You can always you don't have the ability to charge less.
Okay, that's a good one. What else? Why else might that be a problem? So maybe you can't charge enough to make any money, right? You can work really hard, have lots of customers. I erased it, but you don't get them on budget anymore, right? Because you've done work. Why else might that be a problem? People start questioning the quality, right? Who said that? Was that you? People start questioning the quality. What happens if somebody comes to town and I'm Andy and I said, I am the cheapest insurance agent in town. And I do all this radio ads and stuff on the internet, all these different things saying I'm the cheapest in town. Even if Andy's really good, that's what I've told everybody that my unique selling position is, that I'm the cheapest. What happens if somebody comes into town and undercuts my price? I've got no other legs to stand on, right? I've got nothing else that I've convinced people is my unique selling position. Now I'm going to put Andy on the spot. Andy, what is your unique selling position as an insurance business owner? Why should I do business with you rather than somebody else's dad in here?
The one thing that we've always done has helped us stand out is we've always maintained great communication with our customers. So, for example, if they contact us, if we don't answer the phone, we always give them a call back same day, and our customers have always appreciated that kind of communication.
Okay, that's good. What else? I'm going to stretch you here a little bit.
In the insurance world, price is the way that it's all promoted and advertised, and so we'd be stupid not to pretend that is an important factor. So we don't say that we're the cheapest price. We always let our customers know that we're going to get them the best value possible.
Okay. Okay, give me one more.
Third thing goes along with the communication is we take pride in the staff. We have fully licensed staff that can take care of any one of our customers' needs at any time. So
Okay.
if I'm not available, I've got 2 backups.
Those are pretty good, right? right? Those are pretty good. Now, I would put that up against what I call the scratch test, okay? So we've got Andy Springer Insurance over here, and this is his little logo on his website, right? This is his website, and these are the features that he's saying on his website. Maybe these are the benefits. Now, can I put my hand over this and put like Allstate or somebody else there? Would they maybe say those same things? They probably would, right? So I would, if I can put you on the spot, that is not your unique selling position, right? That's what your people probably tell you, that's your unique selling position. But every insurance person that I've ever known has said these same things, right? We love our customers. Oh, we love our customers so much. We take such good care of them. We communicate with our customers so much. You know, we're going to give you an awesome value for the insurance that you're going to buy, this amazing value. And we're going to take pride in training our staff so they'll take care of you, right? They're all going to say that. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not, but they're all going to say it, right? Do you know what makes Andy Springer Insurance different?
Andy Springer.
It's Andy Springer. That's what makes him different. That's his unique selling position. Now, if he were to leave his insurance agency, would his agency still thrive? Sure, it could still thrive, right? But he's figured out something that's so important for every single business, in that every business that's successful, that makes it through that hump of success and doesn't become that 90% to fail or whatever that number is, he's figured out that he is the charismatic leader for his company. Every single company that's successful in this day and age, this social media market, has a charismatic leader that guides them to success, that guides them to profitability. Okay? Are you with me? Every single one of them. You watch. Look at the brands that you buy. Okay, the brands of clothes that you buy, the phone that you buy, the stuff you listen to, it always has a charismatic leader. Andy is the USP for his business. Whether his price is high or low, whether his communication, where it's at, it's him. It's Andy. Okay? All right, one more quick concept, then I want to have a little bit of a question and answer. Okay. There is this concept. As a matter of fact, there is this book that I want you to get. You probably haven't read a lot of business books yet, okay? Let me just tell you something that I learned early on that will make a huge difference in your life. Leaders are readers, okay? I know that sounds like something that's on like a rainbow poster or something out in your hall, but the truth is, if you want to be a powerful, impactful business leader, you need to read. You need to read constantly. Even if that's audible, right? Even if that's an audiobook. Instead of listening to, who's popular music right now? I don't even know. Justin Bieber, I'm sure that's not your guys' era. But instead of listening to that on the way to school, you should be listening to a book. You should be listening to a podcast. There's some amazing content out there right now that's going to enrich your mind and get you thinking in the way of how you're going to be able to chart your path, your career, in this incredible economy that we have right now to make money. You can do that, but you've got to be a reader. Leaders are readers. There's a book I want you to get. It's called The Dip by Seth Godin. Okay? The concept of the dip is that every business, to have success, there's always a dip. Now, I wasn't very good in high school at sports. I couldn't just go and say, hey, coach, put me in to the homecoming game in football. Why would he not do that? I didn't practice, right? I didn't do 2-a-days. I didn't go to the weight room and work out. I didn't put in the work, right, to be a varsity starting player on the football team. And so I wasn't willing, as a high school student, to go through the dip in order to be successful. I wasn't willing to do that, right? Now, there was other things that I did that I said, I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to go through the hard times to get through that dip to find success over here. But we live in an economy that is, frankly, awesome but brutal, okay? It's kind of, a lot of times, stab you in the back economy. You guys are smart enough. You live in a great area. You have awesome families. You have this amazing school and different things. They're teaching you this awesome stuff. You guys can win as long as you're willing to go through the dip. Part of going through that dip is quitting the things that are holding you back. That could be something substance-wise. That could be something that you're telling yourself, I'm just not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not from the right family, I don't have the right connections, I just don't fit in. All that garbage, you've got to quit that, right? You've got to look and see yourself as a winner every single day. Every time you roll out of bed, you have to know that you're willing to go through that dip because you're going to win on this side. There's plenty of money, there's plenty of success, there's plenty of fulfillment on this other side. But you've got to decide, what am I willing to go through that dip for? If I'm going to be a dentist, am I willing to go through 8 years plus of school where I'm going to make no money and I'm going to get a bunch of debt and I'm going to put maybe my wife and family through some hard times in order to have success over here? My industry, I work mostly with dentists. That's my niche that I work with. And I help them go from this transition of being in school to being a rock star practice and make a ton of money, okay? But I've got to help them through that dip. Why is there not more dentists and doctors and all those type of things? Because most people are not willing to go through that dip, okay? So as you're a senior, as you're getting out of high school, you need to make sure that you know exactly what you need to do, not necessarily the thing, right? But what you're willing to go through, what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to sacrifice in order to get through that dip so that you can find that success on the other side. And I was thinking just this morning, I was thinking, man, you know what? As a family, it took a long time for me to get my business off the ground. And I look at all these people in my industry and they found success earlier than I did. And I kind of beating myself up about it. I'm like, wait a second. I live in this weird LDS Mormon economy where people get married early, right, and have kids. And so I was raising kids through my 20s and early 30s. Now I have this great opportunity to be successful in my 40s and 50s, okay? Whereas a lot of my peers on the outside of this weird little bubble that we live in did it the opposite way. So I was willing to go through this dip so I could have awesome kids, so that now I can be focused and be successful in my business. That was the dip that I was willing to go through, okay? If any of you are serious and something that I'm saying right now is resonating with you, go and buy this book tonight, okay? Go on Amazon, go on Audible, however it is that you want to read, go find this book and read this book. You can read it in one night, not a hard book, okay? Okay, I want to leave 10 minutes until the bell rings, and I want to answer a couple questions. Now, you may be a little hesitant to ask a question, but I believe I'm the last brown bag lunch speaker for this series, right? Or is there somebody back? There's one more. Oh man, Andy, you took my thunder.
You're the last one today.
I'm the last one today. Okay, good. I want you to ask me a question about what it's going to take to start your business or what path you should go on in the next 5 years. Okay? Don't be hesitant. It's not about you, and it's not about me. It's about your success. Okay? Who's got a question? Fire away.
Is it easier to hop onto another already existing company and learn their trades before you start your own?
Okay. And what industry are you thinking? What do you love?
Well, right now I work with pest control and I can start a
Okay.
business that way. But
For sure.
What I want to do in the future is fly helicopters.
Oh, okay. Awesome. In what form? What does that mean? Like military or commercial or what?
Commercial, but I want to go through the military.
Okay, awesome. Let me just make a note about this real quick. There has never been a time, at least in my lifetime or my dad's lifetime or frankly my grandpa's lifetime, which is a lot of lifetimes, that somebody has been able to say, I love this, and be able to find a market that's willing to pay you for that, okay? If I go back to my great-grandpa, him and all of his buddies were farmers, right? And that's just what they did. They love farming. I don't know if they did or not, but that's what they did, right? Because that's what there was. You couldn't say, man, I love fishing, and so I'm going to make this little business around fishing, and I'm going to find this market that's willing to pay me. In today's world, because of the internet, because of social media, I can do whatever it is that I love, and I happen to love doing this. I happen to love being a consultant and helping people be successful. That's what I love. That's what turns my crank. And so guess what? I live in Cedar City on 10 acres with a little miniature horse farm and do what I want, right? Because that's what I love in life, and so I'm able to mold that because of the economy that we're in today. Frankly, I probably couldn't have done that 10 years ago, but I can do that today. So your point was, is it better for me to latch onto a company, especially something like that, which please don't just jump into a helicopter unless you've learned how to, no, I'm just kidding. I know you wouldn't do that. But yes, I think that's a great question. You should utilize these first years for one thing. That's definitely knowledge, okay? Knowledge in whatever form. Now, is that the military? In your case, maybe, right? You're going to learn some pretty awesome principles beyond how to fly a helicopter in the military, definitely. Discipline's one of the biggest reasons why people fail, right? You're going to learn that in the military. So yeah, for sure. For those of you that are dentists or want to be doctors or whatever, probably need to go to school, right? You need to go to college. But even with that knowledge, don't ever utilize knowledge or I'm still learning as a crutch to not make money, as a crutch to not own your business. You guys may not have heard this term yet, but something that's really, really powerful is what's called a side hustle. Has anybody ever heard of a side hustle before? What's a side hustle? Andy, what's a side hustle?
I bet you Coach Potter, who wanted to be a coach and school teacher, thought, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to do what he wanted to do. But at the same time, while he worked his way through college, he had a little side hustle, selling the pizzas, and that side hustle turned into great business. And now he owns a pizza.
There you go.
So side hustle is I think Coach Potter's side business, which turned out more to be a hustle.
Teaching and coaching is my side hustle.
Oh,
Okay, there you go. There you go. Your side hustle is the fuel, right? Your side hustle is what is the grease that makes the gears go. That's the X factor that could be huge, right? We lived up in South Utah County in the Salem Spanish Fork area. And I was working with a marketing agency, and it was okay, right? It was paying the bills, and it was what I was supposed to do as a father and as a husband and all these things. And, you know, we had the benefits package, and it was kind of the perfect American what I'm supposed to do as a guy, right? But guess what? That's not where the X factor was. I was getting a salary paid every other Friday or whatever, and that was awesome and it was important. But guess what I started to do? I started buying used washers and dryers off KSL classifieds that people were just trying to give away. I'd buy them for like $5. I'd fix one little thing. It'd take me about 20 minutes. I'd clean it up and I'd sell it for $250. Like that. You know how quick that cash adds up? Okay? That was my side hustle. That was my fuel to get me through the dip, right? Because I wanted to transition from clocking in at 8 o'clock every morning and clocking out at 5 o'clock and just getting my salary. I wanted to be able to do whatever I wanted to do. I wanted to move back to Cedar. I wanted to be able to be closer to family. I wanted to be able to do these things. In order for me to do that, I had to go through this dip. That was my ladder to get me through the dip, okay? That was my fuel. And so don't ever let I'm pursuing knowledge and experience and all those things become a crutch. So vital, so vital that you do that and take advantage of it, because it's pretty hard for a guy that's Andy's age or my age to be an intern somewhere, right? Like the risks are much higher, the risks are much greater. So get this knowledge for sure, but the best knowledge is to go out and do it, right? I almost said a dirty word right there. But the best knowledge is to go out and just do it, okay? Awesome question. Who else has got a question? We got like 5 minutes. Don't be shy. Give me something. It's going to get awkward really quick.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For both of you guys, because I work at the Leather Group right now,
For sure.
and I sell, and I've kind of like always thought like maybe going to starting a business that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know, or if Andy knows, like how, like, I don't know, because I feel like there's a ton of insurance companies out there. and
Yeah.
stuff,
So how they made the leap
yeah.
from good to great. It's another awesome book that you should read by Jim Collins called Good to Great. Fantastic business book, and it's definitely a fundamentals book. It's a great question. So the Levitt Group is a client of mine that I work with and help them with some marketing stuff. And I can tell you the difference. Back in, I don't know what it was, whenever they started, like probably 50s something. There was, Dixie Levitt, right?
Yeah.
He was the starter, and he did something that was pretty abnormal. Does anybody know what it was? Especially for the 1950s or whenever that was.
Allowed lots of different insurance companies.
What's that?
He allowed lots of different insurance companies to just attach himself to one.
That was step 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay? That was step 2. Step 1 was something, his first step that he made. He took a stinking risk. Okay? You know how risky it was to do what he did at that time of the economy? It was pretty risky, right? And so, were they an overnight immediate success? They weren't. The reason that they are different, the Levitt Group is different today than the 9 trillion other insurance groups that have been started, is because from day one, they were risk takers. From day one, they had a growth strategy, okay? They knew as soon as they got to step 2 that they were going to start acquiring all these other insurance agencies that probably wouldn't have had near the success unless they were attached to the Levitt Group, because he was a risk taker, because they had a growth strategy. Now, there's another entrepreneur right now that we're seeing right in front of our eyes that has an exact same strategy. Has anybody heard of Jeff Bezos? Has anybody heard of Amazon? Yeah. Who here has used Amazon or their parents have used Amazon? Me too. That's why he's probably going to be the richest person in the world next year. He's already hit there a couple of times this year because he has a growth strategy, okay? Never wavered in that growth strategy because, to be honest with you, his strategy at Amazon is no different than the Levitt Group's. They found a practice that was limited because they weren't risk takers, or they had some kind of market addition, have the right salesperson or whatever, and they said, hey, attach yourself to us, we'll buy you, and we'll make you freaking superstars. That's the difference, okay? So it was from the get-go to know that if you're going to be in a commoditized business, and when I say commoditized business, it means that you're forcing somebody to make a decision based on, I can get insurance from Andy, or I can get it from Michaela, or I can get it from whoever. If you're forcing people to be in that world, and all of you that raised your hands, a dentist or a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or a real insurance person, you're all going to be in a commoditized businesses, right? But you're doing that because you're going to be a growth strategist and you're going to be a stinking business owner and not just a business do what everybody else is going to do, okay? So the bell rang. I think you guys, do they go or whatever you need to do? Is there any other questions that we can handle? And you guys can leave if you can leave.
Braden.
Hey, how about a big round of applause, huh?